Okay, so there was a segment that I was doing. Well, not really doing, but started when this channel kind of first started, called Storytime. Well, it was where I wanted you guys to send in any hunting stories that were like really cool, or scary wood stories, or even like Sasquatch, etc. encounter stories, stuff like that. But only one person sent in a story, so the story time kind of died. I suppose we could have told some of our stories and kept it going until we got our footing in. But so anyway, I would like to bring that segment back. And what better to start with than the moment of impact, the story of how I went blind. So this book, my mom made for me. I don't know how long after, but she did make this story for me. It's called Moment of Impact. And the reason why our channel is called The Moment of Impact 6/22 is because the accident happened on June 22nd, 6/22. And the moment of impact, everything changed.
2018.
Yeah, 2018. So the moment of impact, the moment that I was shot, everything changed. So the moment of impact 6/22, but I guess it's just moment of impact 6/22 for the channel. Moment of impact 6/22. My mom made me a picture book, even though I can't see it. But so it's all post injury. There's no pre-injury, just all post. This is the first day after the accident.
That was the next morning. That was 12 hours.
Yep.
12 hours after being shot.
That was when the bandages first came off.
Mm-hmm. That says, do not be afraid. Do not be silent. Keep on speaking. Acts 18:9. Jesus replied, you don't understand what I am doing, but someday you will. John 13:7. This scripture gave Jade a lot of understanding,
Hope and fight
during the days following his accident, because Jade was shot in the face above his right eye.
We'll get there.
By his brother.
Let's just show some more of the pictures and stuff, and then we'll get to the story.
Because that's just scripture.
Okay.
All right. Here is a CAT scan of what Jade's head looks like currently. All those BBs that you see are still...
All the bright white spots are BBs.
Yep, are still embedded inside Jade's skull, skin, brain. The dark spot here is where the brain is missing because the gunshot came in. He took the full blast.
That's how I do it. If I'm going to get shot, I'm going to go all the way. I'm not going to...
Right here.
Yeah.
And so he lost his entire right frontal lobe and then lots of damage into his parietal
And
lobe.
I lost some of the parietal.
Right.
Not very much, but there was damage done to it, but I didn't lose very much.
Right. So Jade has absolutely no brain damage. Spite of...
I have brain damage, but not brain damage.
Right. Well, you have no loss of memory.
Well...
No loss of personality. He has all his motor skills. His IQ is still the same. Well, except when he does that, of course.
Yeah.
This is 4 weeks after the accident. We brought him home. He had to wear that cute little helmet.
I hated that helmet.
But we took him out fishing and kept him doing all the things he loved.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and turn the page.
I think we should start the story right about now.
You want to tell the story?
All right, these are the last 2 pages, and then we'll tell the story, and then we'll get back to the book.
Okay,
maybe.
Go ahead and close the book.
Well, what are the pictures?
Oh, well, the left side is Dakota holding a bass,
Okay.
and you standing next to him wearing your helmet. And the next picture is when I happened to take you to lunch one day. You were craving a turkey sandwich, remember? And we went down to the little deli and sat down. Jade sat down at this table, and he would take lots of naps. But interestingly enough, this little gadget was on our table. Even in darkness, faith. And so I took that picture because Jade's life was now currently in darkness, being blind, losing both of his eyes, which increased our faith like you wouldn't believe.
Before we start the story, I'd just like to lead with something. Mm-hmm. I do not like turkey. I do not eat turkey. She was just messing with me when she said Jade was craving a turkey sandwich.
Yep.
I don't like turkey at all. So.
But you do like Dot's pretzels.
Well, I guess I should just cut you off from all else. I hate mustard. And those are the three main things that everyone knows me for. I hate turkey, Dot's pretzels, and mustard, but they all say, in specific, I don't really want to name drop, but I will. Brett Surplus. I know he's most likely watching this. We actually have a website going up. It's called Surplus Cats. It's where you send Brett Surplus. Hold on.
This is your story, not Brett's.
Give me a second. It's where we send Brett Surplus cats. Anyone who has a stray, feral, or just they want to get rid of them, just send them in to surpluscats.org. And there's also another one. It's called Real Serpent, because he owns a TV show called Real Sportsman. I was on it. But Real
Catching
Serpent.
Catching an 8-foot
sturgeon. White sturgeon in southern Idaho. Well, not southern, but central, yeah. But so anyway, Real Serpent. If you have any snakes, preferred species rattlesnakes. He loves rattlesnakes. Send them to him. He loves cats and snakes, so that's for you, Brett. Anyways, let's get into the actual story. So, should I show him the skull real quick, just to...
Sure.
Okay,
So it isn't his regular skull. It is a CAT scan 3D print, and this is how they made the plate, so it would fit nicely in Jade's head.
Give me a second here. So yeah, that's the spot right there.
So what he's putting together right now is his forehead.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
The openings.
No, don't yet.
Jade's gonna tell you all about it. Okay.
I just want to give them a little bit of...
You can see shrapnel in his
Ma!
fingers.
Gosh, this part is always so hard. It fits perfectly, but it's just so hard to get that perfect fit in.
It's like a puzzle.
Only a very aggravating puzzle that doesn't like to stay together. Okay, here we go. We're getting somewhere. So close! Okay. We can do this. Alright, we just have to believe.
Okay, you got it.
I just need to line it up a little bit better. Just a little bit. I'm gonna mess it up. No, okay, I'll leave it like that. Okay, I'll have to hold it. So that was the size of my skull.
That is the size of your skull.
No, I think it's grown a little bit.
Oh yeah, your skull has definitely grown since the accident. But
so that's this. It's from here. Give me a second. All right. It's about from here up. Mm-hmm. Here.
Yeah,
up.
Your eyebrow line.
Not eyebrow line. Because there's an ear.
Oh. Right. Okay.
There's the ears. Right there. Ear canal.
Yep.
But so anyway, that.
So hold that up in front of right there. So.
Don't give away anything.
Okay, start telling them
All right,
about it.
So. Again, this is story time. So, we tell the story. So, this one's going to be very long already. So I'll try to shorten it up, but we will probably do it in a 3-part section. We'll probably do it in 3-part intervals, maybe 4-part, depending on how long the story is. Well, depending on how long I make it. But so anyway, and then once we get them all uploaded, we will mash them together, and then we'll have the full version right there, so you can watch the full thing without going through the parts. So, it all started 2018. Let's say 2 weeks before, so approximately June 14th, 12th, about June 12th. We were up at our dad's, and we had been bird hunting. Magpie. Really, Bruce? So magpie and crows. And so, because they had been eating all of our chicken eggs, and they just kept on going in and eating all of our dog food, cat food that we'd put out for the outside cats, stuff like that. They just sit outside of our windows at like 4 a.m. and keep on calling and wake all of us up. And so Dad eventually put a hit out on them. And this is for all you people who were like, hey, they're protected. Yes, they're protected. They're a protected bird, but once they become a nuisance animal, we looked it up. Once they start doing what I just said they've been doing, you are legally allowed to shoot them. Because you're protecting your farm. But so anyway, so we had been going after the magpies and crows with 22s, pellet guns, and every now and then a shotgun, trying to get multiple of them at once or out of the air, stuff like that. And so, that day, we were going from our dad's house to our mom's house, and we had been out hunting, and Dad had been running late. Like, he had to stay at work a little bit later that day. So me and Dakota just assumed, hey, we'll stay at it for a little bit longer. We'll not get packed right now. We'll just, we'll keep on hunting until Dad gets here, and then so we can be outside for the longest amount of time. So, that day he had his 12 gauge shotgun, Mossberg Maverick, model 1987, I believe, or 88. But anyway, it was a Mossberg Maverick with a 28-inch barrel. And so the tube held six shells, and so we had it full, going for magpies and crows. And I had my 22. I just had my bolt action 22 with a mag. And anyway, so we were out hunting, and we didn't get any, which was typical, because they're really smart. Anyway, so then Dad gets there, and then we figured, hey, we'll stay out here a little bit longer. We'll wait, and Dad will wait until he's like, hey, you guys got to get ready. And so about 10 minutes later, we still haven't gotten anything. We hear him yell, telling us to come home. So we go home, and he's like, all right, you got to hurry. I was running late. We were like, yeah, I know. He's like, so you got to just hurry up and pack. We got to get down to your mom's house. So Dakota just tosses, he doesn't think about it, he just tosses his shotgun into the case and puts it away in the corner, and then we pack up and go to mom's house. We didn't have any second thoughts about it. We didn't think about it. We were just, we were like trying to hurry up and didn't feel like we had the time to unload it, and because Dakota had figured, I'll remember to unload it next time we get up. It's no biggie, I won't forget. Well, fast forward a week, we were up at our mom's house, and then on June, June 18th or so, 19th, I believe. It's a Tuesday. Me and Dakota are coming back up to Dad's house. We haven't thought about the shotgun at all. Haven't said anything about, oh, we need to unload that. We didn't think about it. And so we get there on Tuesday, and we go to work Wednesday and Thursday. And then on Friday, our stepmom convinces our dad to let us stay home because we're just kids. I was only 13, Dakota was only 14 at this time. She's like, they're just kids, so let them stay home. Let them have fun when they're up here instead of just working all the time up here. So Dad's like, okay. So we stay home. He tells us, be safe. You can go out and try to get magpies and crows, but be safe, And we're like, okay, we will. So he goes to work, only about 3 miles away from the house. And so we're out with pellet guns and then come back in, get 22s, go outside. We still haven't been getting anything. We're trying to snipe them, everything. Can't get it. And then we come back in. It's about midday. It's about noon. So we're hungry. we come back in, start cooking some food. Our stepmom comes in, or comes back home. I forget what for. And then she like, you guys good? We're like, yeah. She's like, you want to go to work? We're like, no, we're good. We're gonna go back out. And then she leaves. And then right about then, my mom calls, and so I pick up the phone and I'm like, hi, and we're just talking and stuff. I'm telling her that like, yeah, we're fine. We're having fun. We're just about to go out bird hunting. And hang up, and that was it. And so at just that moment, we see a bunch of magpies outside, and so there's like 13 of them outside. And so me and Dakota are like, oh, Dakota's gonna go grab a shotgun, because that way we might be able to get multiple with one shot or shoot them out of the air. And I grab my 22 with a scope on it. That way, if they fly into a tree kind of far away, but we can still see them, I might be able to snipe one. So we're like, yeah, good idea. So I go into my room, I get my 22, I grab a couple extra rounds, load up my mags. I have a 7 round and a 10 rounder. And then I go across to the house, kinda. I go out of my room, I walk over to the living room, set my gun down against the couch. I set my gun down on the couch, lean it up against it, and leave my mags right next to it so I can quickly get them. And then I am go over, and I'm about to like open up Dakota's door to see if he's ready. And his door, to give you a little bit of insight, was a exterior door. It had the window about that big, like that tall, about mid chest height, or about about mid chest height, and then went up kind of high. But so it was just a window, and then there was like a aluminum frame, and then he put a towel, like hung it over the door, and then shut the door. That way, he could have some privacy, and whenever he wanted to take a shower, he just take the towel off the door. Anyway, and so that way you can't see in or out of the room. And he has one of those handles where you just press it. It's not a doorknob where you twist it. You just push it down, and then it opens. And so I'm about 2.5 or so feet away from the door. I'm reaching out my right hand to grab the door handle, and kind of rewind a couple, like a minute or so, not even. Dakota's in his room. He grabs his he grabs a couple shells for his shotgun. Again, we didn't remember that the shotgun is still loaded. We just completely forgot about it. And so Dakota grabs a couple shells, puts them in his pocket, and then goes over to his corner where he keeps his gun cases, so like his 303 British, 12 gauge, everything. He grabs his 12 gauge case. He sets it down on the bed, opens it up, grabs the 12 gauge, and that's right about when I'm putting my 22 on the couch and leaning my mags next to it. And then I'm just starting to go to his door, and he kind of walks in front of the door. Well, he didn't really walk in front of the door. He just kind of backed up a step or two from his bed, which would put him right in front of the door, and kind of twisted and, did that. Like, held it by the pump and like they do in the movie. And, like, really quickly slid his hand down next to the handguard, and his pinky must have got in there and hit the trigger. Like I said, we forgot to unload it. We didn't realize that it was loaded. And so it chambers around, and then he pulls the trigger, and it fires. Well, it hit, if you're looking out from his room out to the living room, hit the bottom left corner of the window at an angle like that. And then if you're going into the door, it hit the bottom right corner and comes out at an angle like that. And so, birdshot, 2 3/4 of an inch, I believe, birdshot. And at that exact second, I'm reaching out for the door handle. And so it fires and it hits me right there. And Dakota, at first... Alright, and so, Dakota at first didn't realize that he actually shot me, but he does know that he just fired a gun in the house on accident. So his initial thoughts are, oh my gosh, I just shot a gun in the house. Dad is going to kill me. Oh no, he's freaking out. And then he sees blood all over the wall and the floor. And then he has that sinking sensation. That's when he realizes, he's like, oh no, I shot Jade. I shot Jade. And then he looks through the hole in the door, and there I am laying on the floor. Big ol' gaping hole, right like that. You can see my brain. Well, everyone tells me that I go into too many gory details, but it's the story, so I'll try not to, but I still will, kinda. Um, but my right eye is completely out of socket. It's hanging right there on my arm.
Right where on your arm? It was
Right there.
laying there.
Right about the crook of my elbow. It's just, I'm like, I just whacked my skull. So my eye's hanging out. You can see my brain, basically. There's a hole about that big, because it was kind of a slanting blow, but it was enough to. And so, he's thinking, oh no, I killed Jade. And then he's thinking, I can't live with myself, I just killed my brother. So he's thinking about turning the gun on himself, but then he hears me start moaning, and then I move my right arm, and he's like, he's not dead yet. So he runs outside, jumps onto the four-wheeler, and goes over to our grandparents' house about 300 or so yards away, right across the valley, maybe 200 yards. And he tells them, well, as he was shooting me, here's my thoughts, because I remember actually being shot and everything. So here's what happened. I was reaching out towards the door, and I kind of forgot this for a while, but like I'd been looking over, like as I was walking towards the door, I'd been looking out the sliding glass door out into our dog pen, and I saw my stepmom's dog named Loki. He's like a German Shepherd, a Kia mix, whatever. Pretty big dog, but he was just staring at me. And I thought that was kind of odd, the way he was staring at me. But anyway, and then I turned back to the door, and boom. But so anyway, and also my brother had a .45 caliber Captain Ball muzzleloader, and one time, like we'd been like messing with each other, and I was about to go into his room, and he'd got one of the caps out and like just smacked it, so it popped, but it was a really loud pop. And so, it freaked me out. He thought it was funny. After a while, I thought it was funny, but it freaked me out. And so, at first, that's what I thought it was, because you know how they say when you're like, stuff like that, everything goes in insanely slow motion. Well, yeah, since it was in such slow motion, it didn't sound as loud as a 12 gauge. It sounded about like a cap being capped, like a percussion cap. And so, it scares me. I'm like, oh, whoa, Dakota, these are my thoughts. I'm like, oh, Dakota must have snapped a cap again. That was funny. Yeah, haha, he scared me, like freaked out, like kind of like a jump scare. Well, then I see that window start spider webbing, and then all of a sudden it just shatters. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, this is weird now. I mean, the joke's now on him, because he just punched out his window. Dad's gonna be mad, but why would he punch out his window just to prank me? Like, he already scared me. Why does he need to punch out his window? There's no point. And then I feel myself start not rocking backward, like standing up, like you're rocking back on your heels, and feel like you're gonna fall over backward. Yeah, I was feeling that. I was like, okay, this is starting to get weird. Like, I mean, Dakota cap to cap, snap to cap to scare me, and then he punches out his window, and now, why am I playing into this? Why am I falling backward? I mean, why is this happening? Why? And then, like, since it hit me like that, it's turning my head, and so I'm looking over at the couch, and I'm, like, kind of getting blown backward, and so I'm looking over at the couch, because it was about 5 feet behind me when I was actually shot, and so I was like, grab the couch, so you don't fall, grab the couch, or else you're going to fall and hit your head on something, and it's going to hurt. Don't let yourself fall, grab the couch. I'm like, you idiot, grab the couch so you don't fall. I'm trying to I'm trying to grab the couch, but my arm can't move that